Ladies and gentlemen, this is DVP World. You're watching another edition of Break the Fake, where we debunk fake news and combat false narratives. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee, and let's get rolling. Now, welcome back to How to Blame Everyone Else, a masterclass offered by the Kremlin and some German press, with a minor in rewriting reality. Just when you thought international journalism couldn't get any more exciting, reports out of Germany are saying with a straight face that Ukraine and Poland single-handedly dismantled the Russo-German alliance by allegedly blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline. And who's leading this accusation? A former intelligence chief from Gerhard Schröder's era, a man very cozy with Moscow. Now, this former official is spewing venom about the broken dreams of a German-Russian El Dorado, a mythical land of gas and money where ethics are as make-believe as unicorns. The story behind it might have been laughable if it weren't being pushed by serious German publications, desperate to find a new twist in a tale. And if that weren't enough to stir the pot, there's another delightful development. Germany reportedly saying bye-bye to continued military aid for Ukraine because, guess what? The money pot is supposedly empty. That's it, we're broke, whispers an anonymous government source, because apparently the best way to handle war and international crisis now is through the financial advice from mysterious apparitions. But wait, there's more. A secret leak suggests Putin was ready to sign a peace deal. But those pesky Ukrainians had the audacity to defend their borders and push back. What peace was Putin considering? One that presumably gives him Crimea and large swaths of eastern Ukraine on a silver platter. So the only official leak came from our favorite Sastra from Belarus. Such an escalation on the part of Ukraine is an attempt to push Russia into asymmetric actions. Well, let's be honest, the use of nuclear weapons. Unquote. Continuing, Lukashenko drifted off to say that, "I know for sure that Ukraine would be very happy if Russia used tactical nuclear weapons or we would use them." What a weird thing to say out loud, isn't it? Listen for yourselves.
Как я тебя вижу, так мы видим, что происходит на театре военных действий и то, что происходит в Украине. Не все, конечно, так, это как у вас даже в 60 минутах вы говорите, понятно, не все это так. Есть люди мотивированные. Вот возьмите Курск. Нападение на Курскую область. Слушайте, там не было непрофессионалов. И они были собраны со всей линии боевого соприкосновения. Это были уже прошедшие по войне в основном люди. Остальных дооснастили, наемники, поляки и прочее. Это были сформированы очень мощные силы. И они зашли... что такое граница? Я же служил, знаю, что такое граница. Это ребят несколько там, у вас усиленные, допустим. Они не могли сдержать такие силы. И, естественно, военные и Путин сами умрут, но снесут оттуда украинских военных. Вот тогда встанет вопрос, зачем туда зашли? Для того, чтобы похоронить самых таких уже подготовленных бойцов. Уже лучших собрали. А что будет на других участках фронта? Но в чем опасность, Женя? Опасность состоит в том, что вот эта подобная эскалация со стороны Украины – это попытка толкнуть Россию на асимметричные действия. Допустим, применению ядерного оружия. Знаю точно, что в Украине были бы очень рады, если бы Россия применила, или мы там, тактическое ядерное оружие.
Now, these stories rely so heavily on anonymous sources, they might as well be an episode on X-Files. The international media, on their part, aren't asking too many questions. What peace deal was there on the table? What sources are these leaks coming from? But why bother with pesky details when you can have headlines? Stay tuned for more updates from the alternate reality, because it's going to be quite a wild ride. All right, let's take a peek into the grand circus of Russian TV, where Vladimir Solovyov, the ringmaster of state propaganda, spins his nightly web. On any given evening, you can't expect him to be orchestrating a grand symphony of threats and tirades against anyone daring to cross Moscow's path. If his show had a subtitle, it might as well be Enemy List Live Edition. Now on his latest act, who is Solovyov plotting to obliterate? Western leaders, Ukrainian cities, or perhaps some new unforeseen threat that only the Kremlin can see with its KGB-issued spectacles? Well, watching Solovyev's show is like tuning into a darker, more sinister version of Who Line Is It Anyways, where everything's made up and the points, like the justifications for the war, don't matter.
Немцы в этом плане тоже счастливы. Они счастливы! Ну, я не знаю, как у вас, а у меня реакция только одна. Ну, придется стереть с лица земли всю военную машину немецкой фашистской гадины. Вообще, европейской твари. Ну, просто не надо тешить себя иллюзией. Не должно быть у нас в стране никакой партии мира, никаких попыток договориться. То есть все. И когда в новых исторических реалиях новый российский контингент будет стоять в Берлине, в Париже, чего не было с 1800 ого-го какого года, и в прочих городах Европы.
But let's not give away all the surprises. Tune in and witness the absurdity of a man who, with every word, managed to keep satire writers around the world gainfully employed. Now, the real question isn't who Solovyov will target next, but how the world still managed to turn on its axis with all this spinning from Moscow's top climber. In a twist that nobody saw coming, except maybe everyone, the people of Kursk are getting a taste of what effective government feels like. And, surprise, it's not Russia. As the local authorities in Kursk have apparently decided to take part in the world's least fun version of hide and seek, spoiler, they're really good at the hiding part, Ukrainian soldiers have stepped in to share water and food with abandoned locals. It's like a neighborhood barbecue, but with better intentions and more geopolitics. Now, our local Kursk storyteller, who speaks fluent Ukrainian, is dropping truth bombs that are inconvenient for the Kremlin. It's almost as if the Kursk region is auditioning for a spot in a new homeland because, let's face it, the local Russian administration fleeing the scene sounds like a de facto resignation letter.
Вийшло не газоване. Тримайте ще. Що це у вас таке в коробці?
А ви ж дали мені.
Їжу? Тримайте.
Ви мені дали
Суші батончики тримайте.
Це он.
Jokingly, you could say it's time for a referendum on independence in the Kursk region. Wait, that's the Russian playbook in Ukraine. Well, but imagine this referendum. Do you prefer real help in a crisis or just being part of Putin's next photo op? I think we know how the vote would go, don't we? Chechen leader Ramzan Kadyrov, a man known more for his iron fist than his environmental credentials, has publicly thanked Elon Musk for a shiny new Tesla Cybertruck. Yes, that's right, the same electric behemoth that looks like it escaped from a sci-fi film. And where is this Cybertruck supposedly going? Ukraine. The idea of a Cybertruck cruising through a conflict zone sounds like something straight out of a fever dream. It's more likely an elaborate PR stunt on Kadyrov's part, as opposed to Elon actually sending one of his futuristic trucks into a war zone, which he couldn't, by the way, because Kadyrov has been slapped with so many sanctions that he's been basically reduced to buying whatever the local grocer has.
Мацила, Аллаху Акбар дом. Musk дом. Ждем гостей дом.
Now, Musk has since taken to X and personally denied the allegations that he was in any way involved with the Cybertruck appearing in Kadyrov's hands. And to be fair, if Elon really wanted to support Russia's war effort against Ukraine, there are probably cheaper and more effective vehicles than this shiny box of a car with a gun mounted on top. Musk has always been a controversial figure, and his critics are often quick to believe negative statements about him, even when they come from a Chechen leader acting as Putin's foot soldier. However, it is important to approach such claims with caution and not immediately accept narrative that aligns with personal biases, especially when these narratives are propagated by those intent on spreading division and disarray. However, the Cybertruck being in Kadyrov's possession in and of itself poses some questions. Yeah, remember those sanctions we mentioned earlier? Well, the vehicle must have made its way into Chechnya somehow. The Russians are master at skirting sanctions, And it wouldn't be surprising if they lend a hand to their pal Remsen. Just look at how well they're still faring in sourcing components for their cruise missiles. If they can still import crucial dual-use tech like that, how hard can it be for the Russians to use a network of third parties to score a Cybertruck and use it to foment disarray in the West? Not that hard. And with that, we conclude this edition of Break the Fake. But for more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to DVP World.